Lucky82 back here today for another important and big announcement from PUBG. It is version 4.1, which is a very big, very huge, with a lot of content coming up in this patch that is now live on test servers, going to live servers next week. And there is a lot to go through. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. And this is also Season 4 beginning. And there's a lot to cover, so I'm going to try to cover over all of it. I'm probably going to skip the details, and we'll do it that way. I will have a link to this in the description below, along with a video that you will see in this that we won't actually do the video. If you want to see it, you can follow the link in the description below. So here we go. And just a bunch of this information video. I watched the video to see there really isn't a whole lot here to see for this. It's just pretty much what we're going to go over. So this is what we're going to do. So we're just going to go over it. So again, at the very beginning, Erangel visual update. We was in a test server once before. It is back, and this time it will go to live servers on the end of the test server phase. So as you saw in the test server, if you played it before, this is just, it's coming back. There's a little more to it. They've added some things. They've changed a couple things in it based on feedback from the previous test server run. And as you can see, the difference is pretty big. This is the military base. That statue has been updated to look to more on the right side there, as you can see. And it does look quite a bit different in here. The grass looks different. The sky looks to be a lot more brighter. They did reduce the brightness though, as we'll see later on. And I'm not going to get into too much detail on what they fixed from last time. Again, this is different than here. Multi power looks a lot better, a little more improvement. The tower here that was just being built. Looks like it had been built and now it's been destroyed. It looks like they did make some elevation changes, as we went over my previous video on. So I'm not going to go too much further on the Erangel visual, because I already did a video on that. I have a link to that. Will probably pop up here to the right side of the screen to that video. As you can see, it's just, it should look, it's going to be really interesting. And here they looked at, they changed a bunch of things for ledge grabbing, so that should be interesting to see how that plays out. Did change some. This is the only thing that didn't cover from the last video, is the terrain changes. They look, as you can see, as here you wouldn't have been able to get up if you were in the water. There's no way to get up here from this beach. Now there is. So it looks like there's some areas they've added, so it's easier to access the actual land from the water. They've updated existing terrain, signage, buildings, and have added a number of small buildings to some areas as well. So as you can see, this area was just open, some tree cover, but nothing really going on. I'm not sure where in the map. It's close to farm, I think it was, the hill there between Pachinki and farm. Yes, because there's farm there. They've added in some trenches up here, so a little more areas to loot and for cover, so it should be interesting. Along the beach, it was open. If you're coming off the water, you were just running. A little more cover. Probably not a whole lot of cover. I wouldn't want to be pinned down here, because if you're pinned down here being shot from there, there's not really anywhere else you can go. So here's the changes they made from the Erangel visual update from number 1 on the patch. Grass density and the color saturation have been reduced. There was a big concern where people said you could really hide way too easily in the grass, and I did play it. I did see that, so that's good. They made the reduction on it. We'll see what it turns out to in the actual gameplay. They have also reduced the overall brightness. I wasn't aware of that, but that might work out okay. This is all about the Survivor 4 pass for the dates. I'm not going to go over that too much, just because it is. It's not really all that new. It's pretty much for a previous patch. This is survival title, different things you can get. And this is another big one. This is the next big section we're going to talk about. Gameplay. The equal looting opportunity looting. Which, for Season 4, they were rebalancing many of the game's weapons and vehicles. This is the first time they're going to rebalance vehicles. So I'm really excited to see what exactly that means. We're going to scroll down and we're going to read. And there's a huge weapon balance. Huge weapon balance. And I'm just going to go off on increased base damage of the Kar 98 from 75 to 79, which makes it statistically better than the M24. Increased per pellet base damage of the S12K shotgun from 22 to 24. Increased the pellet base damage of the sawed-off from 20 to 22. Increased per pellet base damage of the S686 and the S1897, the pump and the double barrel. And increased the effective distance or damage over distance for all SMGs. You can really see they're really pushing for SMGs than they are for ARs at this point. As you can see here, the torso does a 1.05, and it has increased the damage multipliers for SMGs. Torso does 1.05 instead of 1, limb 1.3 instead of 1.25. They also increased the damage multipliers for the crossbow pretty significantly, I think. The torso is now 1.4, it was 1. The limb 1.2, previously 0.9. They've also changed the zoom for ADS for the default crossbow sight, increased by 3%. And now the laser sight attachment dispersion multiplier for pistols was decreased from 0.5 to 0.3. That's the non-ADS shooting with pistols will now be 70% more accurate when the laser is attached. The nerfs, they did nerf a couple of things. We're going to go over it real quick. They reduced the base damage of the M24 from 79 to 75. So pretty much they flipped the damage from the Kar 98 and the M24, which makes the Kar 98 now more powerful than the M24. If you know how to fire it properly, because it is a little slower of a weapon on the bullet speed. Reduced the base damage of the barrel M762 from 46 to 45. Not a huge point. 1 point you're probably not going to notice it too much. They reduced the base damage of the AKM and Groza from 49 to 47. Okay, this is the biggest one here. They reduced the base damage of the M416, the G36, the QBZ, the Scar L, and the AUG from 43 to 41. And the biggest one, another big one here for shotguns, it's a huge nerf. Huge nerf. Reduced the maximum bullet travel distance of all shotguns from 1,000 meters to 150 meters. No more of a sniper shotgun anymore. Now it's only strictly close game, which is only going to be good for beginning of gameplay. You're not going to be able to use it to carry around for most of the gameplay. It should be really interesting with that. They did buff the shotguns, but they've only allowed the maximum travel distance a lot closer of a distance. So you're not going to be able to hit those cross George Pole shots with a shotgun anymore. You're going to be pretty close. Some changes to the weapons. The duckbill attachment now distributes bullets vertically instead of horizontally. Crossbow is a big one if you're a crossbow player. Crossbow will now have a visible tracer following the trajectory of the bolt for easier aiming. And they added a top rail to the Uzi route to allow red dot and holographic sights attachments. Okay, that's interesting. So the vehicle balance update was really interesting to see how this works. So the buffs, they improved the handling of all the rear-wheel drive vehicles, the buggy, the Murata, the Ronnie motorbike, snowmobile, scooter, and Tuxia. I can't pronounce it, I apologize. The regular and three-seater motorbike stabilization has improved, which is good, because no one wanted to drive the three-seater. Increased the maximum speed of the scooter from 90 to 105, makes it a little more viable. They improved the handling of the buggy and increased the buggy's wheels durability by 50%, which is good. It needed it. The buggy's wheels were the easiest target to take out, and once buggy's wheels are out, you're done. They also increased the max speed of the buggy from 92 to 115, 92/115 to 100, 125. No boost versus boost. They also increased the HP of the UAZ from 900 to 1200. They increased the HP of the Tuxai from 500 to 1000, as well as increased the max speed from 70 to 85. The nerfs decreased the HP of Murata from 1000 to 900. All motorbikes now will consume 50% more fuel than before, so you'll need gas much more often. Not that it really matters. Decreased acceleration and boost multiplier rate for Dacia. Maximum speed will stay the same. Dacia Murata vehicle speed now will be reduced by 15% when driving on surfaces like sand, mud, grass, and dirt. Makes it more realistic. It'll be interesting to see how that actually works out. When driving on rocky surfaces with any vehicle, friction will be decreased by 10%, making them more difficult to control. Again, I love this, making it more realistic to the surface they're driving on. Okay, now everyone's been asking about this for the BRDM, saying it was so overpowered, especially in solos. So they made a big nerf that I believe will make a huge difference in the way that it's used. In solos, the increased damage will be increased by 80, or decreased by increase the damage taken in solos by 80%, which means it's going to die a lot faster in solos than it's going to in squads, and it makes a lot more sense. It's no longer a viable end game solution. If you're in it, you're usually going to win. Not anymore. Not anymore. It's going to be 80% quicker to blow it up. And in duos, it's increased by 40%. So again, it's not going to be the most viable option again in duos either anymore for end game. And then we're going to get to another part which is great, and they address the issue where you could, in solos especially, where you can get in and another player will get in and there's nothing you can do. They've made that fix. We're going to get over to that here very soon. Implemented new buggy and Murado sounds, so we'll see how that was. Visual effect when using boost has been removed and replaced with high RPM engine sounds. Interesting. Improved the aiming while inside vehicles to be more steady. This could be big right here. I don't know if I'm going to like that, but we will see. They've also improved the FPP camera view inside most vehicles, so that should be good. New features. They've added an auto acceleration to vehicles identical to auto run. It can be activated with the equal key just like auto run or whatever you have that auto run key bind to be. This is the next part is what I was just talking about with the BRDM. They've made it now so there's an unlocking mechanism to the BRDM where now only your teammates will be allowed to enter the BRDM. No longer other players or other solos will be able to get in there and not be able to kill each other. This is big. This is great. This is what everyone's been asking for, especially guys like Wacky Jackie 101, WTF Moses, Choco Taco, all of them have been begging for this. Anybody that's played the game for a living, and they've been complaining about this feature. That's kind of a gimmick. Now they fixed it. And then only when all teammates exit the BRDM will it unlock, allowing any player to enter, which is great. They've also added, and I'm not sure how well this is going to work out, but they've added car audio feature to play preset music while inside a car. Kind of if you play the PUBG Mobile, they do it there. I hope it's not that god-awful music. I hope it's something a little half-decent, and only the driver can control this feature. Car audio will stay turned on even after players exit the vehicle. Turning the audio on and off while inside a vehicle will play random music every time. Use F5 key to play or stop the music, F6 to change the music. The mouse wheel can be used to control the music volume, which is good because sometimes you don't want that too loud. Music will stop playing automatically after a full song. And it can be stopped by destroying or flooding the vehicle. It'll be interesting to see that aspect of it. I'm going to put a link up to Wacky Jackie 101's video in the description below or up in a card somewhere on the screen. Go over and check out his video. He usually does a pretty good job at video. Giving examples for these things. So please check him out. Leave him some likes on that. Healing and boost item improvements. Healing and boost items now can be used while moving, which is going to be big. You will, however, be only limited to walking speed only. Use the run jump keys to cancel the healing/boosting, which is still being able to walk instead of stuck in one corner. Trying to heal is big. Bandages, I'm not sure how I feel about this one, will now be used continuously until the player fully heals to the maximum 75% or runs out of bandages, without the need to manually use bandages multiple times. You can use the run jump keys to cancel that healing. First aid kits can no longer heal additional damage you receive after the healing starts. Previously, if damage was taken after the 2-second healing period had started, any additional damage received would be healed if the total healing timeout was still 75% or less. Visual effects improvement, optimize and rework the visuals of Molotov, optimize and improve weapon and vehicle shaders, optimize and improve frag grenade explosion effects, depending on the surface the frag grenade explodes upon. Optimized and differentiated muzzle flash for each weapon, that should be pretty nice to see. Maximum range of automatic marker placing using radio matches has been reduced from 500 meters to 300 meters. Now this one, a lot of people, you saw Wacky Jackie 101 was one of the first people to realize this, so kudos to him for realizing this and bringing it to their attention. They did test a bit of this out earlier in a test fetch, but here they are bringing it back. Now the weapon rate of fire is going to be now less affected by your FPS, and your improved rate of fire consistency at low FPS, which is good. Which means if you're running at 30 FPS before and you had a guy that was running at 60 or 90 FPS, he was going to be a lot more accurate. So this should be really good to see. They did make a couple changes to the Erangel blue zone. And from the last visual update, now they've made some changes based on that. The size of the safe blue zone early phases has been reduced. The blue zone waiting time in early and mid games phases have also been reduced. The movement speed of the blue zone during some mid and late phases has been decreased. Blue zone waiting time for the final phase has been reduced. Now they've added a turntable to Erangel. They're spawned randomly on Erangel. Plus, press the use key to turn the music on and off. Turntables can be destroyed. Music played on the turntable can be heard by all nearby players. Music will stop playing automatically after one song. I think this is kind of tacky, and maybe it's to test the future feature for something else and just see how this works. I guess you'd probably try to set up traps with it at this point, I think. But I don't know, it's supposed to be a stealthy game and be giving your position away every time you activated it, but hey, we'll see what it is. Updated the character customization tab and UI. I'll let you read all these. I have a link to this below again. Plain map UI now resets dynamically when zooming in the map. Redid the UI for the emotes and moved it off to the side. Reduced from 12 to 8. And another big one, matchmaking system update. They've been talking about this. They're going to put it in, and then we're going to let to see what happens. There is a link. You can see more on it. For the NA region, which we're mostly going to do, because this is the region I'm in anyway. So we're going to focus more or less on the NA region. Reduce difficulties of player experience, alter map selection options. Featured match option plus a random map option. A featured map option will be available temporarily within the release of Erangel visual update, alongside of the random map option, which is the equal chance for the remaining 3 maps. Which it's going to be this. So if you play on EU, it's still going to look like this. If you're going to play on NA, it's going to look like this. You're going to have your featured map Erangel and then your random, and only one of the two. After the initial release period, the featured maps option will be removed with only the random map option available. Well, that sucks. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to go over well. I still want to be able to pick if I want to play on just Erangel or just Sanhok or Vikendi. I don't want to have to pick one. So they're going to add in the preset match for that. Okay, this is different then. So then you can go into the normal patch. A new match option preset will be provided, allowing players to select the map they wish to play. Random squad is only available in preset match, so you won't be able to enter these matches as pre-made teams. Okay. Well, it's going to be interesting to say the least. Again, some changes. They've added another banner to the back of it for the Nations Cup that's coming in from Seoul in August. Okay, that's reflecting player feedback. The chance of Moonlight Weather in Vikendi has been reduced to the percentage chance it had prior to the recent increase. PUBG Nations Cup Frying Pan has been released. Oh, okay. It's still too much, though. Performance. Map loading speed has been improved. Improvements have been made to reduce instances of hitching and stuttering, and the optimized calculation of character movement outside the player field to view improved performance. And again, as usual, the replay version has been updated. Past version replay files are now unavailable to use. Come on, PUBG. This is the one thing you guys got to do better. You got to make sure you can still view the replays, because that makes everything useless before. Come on. This is not beta. This is in the actual game. Stop doing this. Observer UI, and bunch of bug fixes. I want to try to pick out a couple big ones, but there really isn't. Most of these are, small things. Yeah, there's nothing really here to talk to. I'm not going to go over it because we've been talking now for a little. That's the update. I can't wait to get on it and see some gameplay. So I guys hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in a future video. Have a good night or a good day or whatever it is for you guys when you're watching this video. Yeah, can't speak today. Goodbye.